Good afternoon, friends and fellow travelers. It's Brandon. Ash and Winnie are in the car, and today we are back on the St. Croix Scenic Byway. North of Stillwater now. Stillwater's right ahead. You can kind of see the steeple way out there. We are at the overlook for the St. Croix boom site, so we'll actually go down to the boom site shortly. But here is the first look at what we can see today. The geology of Minnesota, the Stillwater region, if you guys are looking into that. But here's another view of the St. Croix. And now, right over there is, behind me is the St. Croix National Scenic Riverway sign. So we're getting into a more unique area for sure. So join us. We're on our way north to explore more of the St. Croix Scenic Byway. And back at the actual boom site wayside, going downhill to the St. Croix River. Ash and Winnie have joined me. And walking back up here, lots of graffiti. You can hear water of some sort. Let's see what's over here. Here at the St. Croix boom site near Stillwater. Just water dripping out of there. Winston's irritated because I'm not with them right now. They're over there by the water. Pretty area. Big fire pit of some sort, at least that's what it looks like. Down by the water. It is interesting. Way back down the river to Stillwater. Winston's attached today. Fun fact, this is the site of where Ash and I got our engagement pictures. Down the river a little bit, there's people fishing. I'll show you here in a little bit if I can on the way back. Very popular place today. Walk along the river a little bit. Now there was also another trail we did down here with a huge bridge going across the river. I don't know if we'll be able to see that from here. We haven't actually walked this way here before, I don't think. It's crazy, it gets into the 50s here and everybody's out and about. Pretty cool area. Like I said, we have that connection because we had pictures done here right after our engagement. You can see some of why this is designated as a National Scenic Riverway. Now you can go down as far as you can get, essentially. As far as you feel like walking. There's no restrictions as far as that. There's another little primitive fire pit. Some folks canoeing out there. Very popular site for photography, as you can imagine. Pontoon boat out there even. For sure picturesque. You can even see the clouds reflecting on the river. Walking back along the rock face. It's got tons of graffiti on it, of course, but it's still beautiful. It's still a cool area, part of the larger Scenic Riverway. It also encompasses that Scenic Byway we are doing on a larger scale. And don't forget to look back. And welcome back. We are now at William O'Brien State Park in Marine on St. Croix. Looking around, we have another prairie, their visitor center, another sign about pollinators, and let's take a walk around. So a lot of this park right now is under construction, so it makes visit here interesting. Unfortunately, a lot of the trail areas and a couple of the camping areas are currently under construction right now, so that makes camping or visiting this park a little different than what you truly might see if we were visiting at a different time. Walking through the campground now. This is what we've got. Not the campground, the parking lot. Apologize. Pretty area. You hear the birds in song. We're getting close to the area where Ash and I got engaged. Taylor's Falls. Probably will be the next stop on this journey. There's the map for you. Like I said, there is construction. It says 90% of the park's still open, so whatever that means. Okay. Walking it adjacent to the visitor center. And a bathroom for my pregnant fiance. Just about to take off on an evening hike through William O'Brien State Park. Looking around what we have. There's a hiking club trail, of course. Here's the visitor center. The hiking club trail is a 5.3 mile from what I understand. And we aren't too familiar with this state park. However, we are excited to actually be able to see some of this area, because when we were here last time, it seemed like this area was under construction. So we'll see what this looks like. I wonder what they're actually doing. I need to do a little bit more research on that for you, because I'm curious also. Sunset will be around 8 p.m. tonight. It's about 5 now. And we're going to be battling some dropping temperatures as it is going to get down into the low 30s tonight. So as the sun goes down, we'll see how that goes for us as we hike along the trail. Hiking along the hiking club trail here at William O'Brien State Park. Our first bug sighting in a year.
No.
Oh, we missed them. Winston's as happy as a lark, pulling his mama around. She loves that. It's nice to actually be able to get out on the trail in this park though and experience it, as opposed to not really seeing much last time we were here. It's a beautiful evening. The trail is sandy. And that famous quote, "I forgot my hiking shoes," that's a really popular one with Ash. And she wore her sandals today and we're hiking on the sand trail, so we'll see how that goes. That's the love of my life for you folks.
Better than sand in my boots, I guess.
Sand in my boots.
I know, you got my reference.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure it'll switch to dirt. Continuing on. I want to find out where that active beaver lodge is. It's not the right part of the day for it anyway, but it would still be cool to see the area. What I was reading is Beaver Lodge Trail here has an active beaver lodge that in the morning time you can possibly spot a beaver. Now we saw one at Banning, the unofficial mosquito capital of the world, in our visit there last year. Now Banning is at the very end of the Scenic Byway, so have to maybe stop back there before the mosquitoes of summer get too bad and see what we can find. We're not alone out here. There are some other folks enjoying the evening at one of Minnesota's great state parks. Winston wants to go hike with them. He'd like to go through the prairie. Winston, hey, you want to go hike with them? That's a beagle for you.
Come on.
So the trail changed over a little bit, over to a more hilly environment. Looks like the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources has been doing some burning efforts in this land. Now going uphill, the trail took a stark change to rock, and now we're back to hiking on grass, which I'm okay with. Miss Sandals is okay with. Back downhill. We're trying to get down to the Beaver Lodge Trail, essentially. And although I highly doubt we're going to find a beaver or see one, at least we might be able to see if there's any beaver dams or where they might be lodging. We have seen a beaver, like I was saying, at Banning, so wouldn't be our first, but would be a cool opportunity. Sun's starting to come down, and so are we heading downhill. Now that marine on St. Croix town that we are close to, which is small, 300 and some out population there, more like a village, had a little historical area with an old general store and an old historic mill site, but not a whole lot to see. We might hit that on the way back or in a future video, but otherwise here we are now at this state park. Plenty of state parks in this area, and if you go too much further north of this scenic byway, you go into that Duluth and Grand Marais area where you run into an extremely scenic spot with state parks all over the place, and eventually to some very beautiful North Shore adventures also. And here at the bottom of the hill we start the Beaver Lodge Trail. Some more burning efforts by the Department of Conservation, and now here we go. And here we are coming up to the actual Beaver Lodge area. It's a pretty evening tonight. Wow. You can tell right where they've been working for sure. I'm sure they're nestled in their beds asleep, but it's a pretty cool area nonetheless. Well, this is a cool little spot over here.
You wanna make it?
With the sounds of nature.
Alrighty then. Then you're gonna go with your new family over there.
Cool area. There are active beavers in this park, so there is a chance. Not gonna promise it. I hear something.
I know.
I don't know exactly what that sound is, so if you know what's making that sound, let me know in the comments, because I'm not familiar with that one. The prairie turns into a small lake with a beaver dam in it and a beaver lodge. Interesting find. I wouldn't have expected that here, so that's pretty cool to see.
That's a lot of sticks in
They really have piled a lot of things up in the middle of that pond. Lake, pond, I suppose it's up to interpretation. Ever forgetting to look back? And it continues on way down that way. Beaver Pond, Beaver Lodge Trail. Some information there for you if you want to read it. Continuing on down the Beaver Lodge Trail. Something flying over there, landing in the water. I would love to see one. Now it's interesting that they are apparently more active in the morning. I didn't know that about beaver naturally. But hey, that's why they have those interpretive signs to teach you. Guess I could do a little bit more research on their habitat also. Want your photo op, dude?
When you look, what's that? Who is that?
Hey, buddy.
You see it?
And with that, as we walk on this Beaver Lodge Trail, Ash and I would love to say thank you to all of you for watching, liking, commenting on our videos, subscribing to the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. We are eternally grateful for 500 subscribers, and we are totally committed to this journey and producing quality content for you. If you have any ideas of where you would like to see us go, let us know. And of course, we also have Instagram, where you see more of our photography from the locations that we visit, as opposed to just the video. We capture some shots of the environment that you might not see from the video. So either way, you're getting a different perspective. So if that interests you, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok also. I don't post on there very often, but we are. And with that, we thank you for joining us at William O'Brien State Park, the next section of the St. Croix Scenic Byway. It's a nice evening. You know, you can feel the wind and the temperatures going down. However, it's still really nice out. It's comfortable. I guess when we're used to it being below zero and bone chilling cold with the winds all the time, it's nice to, feels good at 50. And something's moving around over here in the brush. I'm sure there's all kinds of wildlife here at this park, including the beavers and all the bird life. Something in here. Huh. The many noises of William O'Brien State Park as we look back across the Beaver Lodge Trail. I can't tell exactly where that is, friends, or what that is. Huh. Another sound. Let me know if you know what that is. It's a beautiful trail. Now, if we would have taken a right up there instead of a left at that last sign, it would have been the Wetlands Trail. Which, if it wasn't 6 o'clock already, yeah, probably would have checked it out. But we've got a little bit of a walk back, and we still want to keep going on the route before sunset tonight. So we'll continue on and maybe come back here and camp at William O'Brien State Park when everything's back open here in about a month. It was about May 17th, May 18th, and that time frame, right before Memorial Day, that they expected all of the campsites that are currently under construction to be reopened. So we could add that to the list. We'll see, you never know. We're definitely trying to find some camping destinations before Charlotte gets here. Heading back along the Beaver Lodge Trail. Kind of back along our loop. This time the Beaver Lodge will be to the left in Beaver Pond. No beaver today though, unfortunately. There are some people out here, so you almost have to catch them in a more quiet time. So I suppose that's why they say get out here early, perhaps around that sunrise time. I'm looking closely though, because they... Oh!
I saw something. What's that?
There is something out there. Something moving along. Right in front of us. It's in this spot right there. But it's not coming out of that brush. Huh. That might be a beaver, folks, hiding right there in the brush from us. They're probably kind of used to people, though. I wish they'd poke their head out and say hi. Hi, beaver. No. I guess he's not going to talk to me today. Every once in a while, though, walking along, you hear a good crunch, and you're like, is that... No, it can't be. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you guys caught that on camera either. It's right in that spot. Huh. Dang. This might be the time, though. It's getting later. It's getting to a more calm time. Well, it sounds like a pheasant got spooked up over there. Do you see it?
Oh.
the great beaver hunt with the traveling Whitcombs. One last look at the pond as we are marching right next to the beaver lodge. What a cool little spot. But again, I didn't have tremendously high hopes for this park. And it made for a good adventure. That's just crazy right there, how they do that. You know, Ash makes the comment that she's panting. You know, she's halfway through her pregnancy now with our daughter, and she said, well, these beaver just drag these these logs through the water. But it's true. I mean, how the heck? They're strong. Water helps out a little bit, surely. Our next gonna drag that thing over there.
The whole thing.
Drag the whole tree over there into that pile. I mean, I got some pretty sizable logs over there. They do. It's pretty cool. Last look at the beaver lodge. Oh. And the beaver pond. And welcome back, friends and fellow travelers. We have made it to Interstate State Park here in Taylor's Falls. We're on the Minnesota side today, which is a contrast to the first couple of times that we were here. Ash and I took our first date here, actually, on the Wisconsin side. And then the next time we were here, we actually got engaged at this park. So that's pretty cool. Again, on the Wisconsin side. So we're kind of, as we have in the last couple of videos, living with nostalgia, as we are very much connected to this park. Like I said, we're on the other side of the border. It's right over there. We'll show you here shortly. But yeah, so the difference is on the Minnesota side, you're going to pay $7 for an entrance fee, while on the Wisconsin side, you're going to pay the requisite $13 per Wisconsin plates and $16 for out-of-state plates. And I have a feeling this is leading down to the Scenic Boat Tour parking lot, but we'll see. Is it? Yeah. All right. Back up this way. We'll show you what we mean here as we are on the next stop of this St. Croix Scenic Byway. The glacial pothole section. There is camping options. There are options for tent camping, options for larger vehicles also. You can kind of see the rapids moving from down there. Maybe not so much yet, but you can definitely hear where we're going. Some more steps. And we'll head down that direction, I suppose. Down some wooded steps. Right there's the Scenic Boat Tours place, and that water is hustling. And we've arrived. See if we can get a better view of the rapids from over here. Here we are. Taylor's Falls, Minnesota, friends. And right there, Wisconsin. What a sight. Ash is freaking out because I have a history of slipping. So I'm not right at the end of the rocks, so don't get me wrong, but close enough for her to be uncomfortable. Wow, it's beautiful. Up there somewhere is where we got engaged. And, well, you're starting to see that golden hour light coming over the valley. Looking back out at the falls. A little bit of rock scrambling section, briefly. You can go up there and stand on those rocks to get a better view. As you can imagine, friends, lots of rock climbing that goes on here. I've seen it more or less on the Minnesota side, in contrast. Definitely in love with the golden hour taking shape over the valley. Looking for the falls. There are no waterfalls in this park. So there were large rapids that were dammed way back 1906. So we see a lot of rock formations here. And of course, you have the Wisconsin and Minnesota sides. Interstate State Park rock climbing, pure safety and enjoyment, things to see and do. Now it's interesting, I just figured out as I was learning about vehicle passes for Minnesota state parks that we bought our day pass for William O'Brien earlier, and that is good for all Minnesota state parks for the day. So that $7 is good for here and William O'Brien or any other state park that we'd like to go to. So interesting tidbit of knowledge there. Glacial potholes. Oh, there is one of those. Glacial potholes. Interesting rock formations here. I won't say that I happened to check my state parks pass because there was a park ranger over there checking vehicles, but there actually was. So I was able to figure that out for you guys. If you're ever in a Minnesota state park and you buy the day pass, it's good for all state parks. As I had to hastily figure that information out, or if I was going to have to quickly purchase a pass for this state park also. A battle between water and rock. So it is a big pothole. It's just holding all that water. You know, I always say it, but I would be curious to see some of these rivers and water areas that have rapids before the dams were up. Just how crazy were these rapids and waterfalls that are now dammed. I've said that in many different locations, but it definitely leaves me wondering. What a beautiful area. We haven't checked out the Minnesota side before. Of course, we have been to the Wisconsin side a couple times, and you see folks walking up there. That is the area thereabouts that Ash and I got engaged, walking up in that area and overlooking the river. And yes, I can confirm this is the St. Croix River. I asked earlier or made the statement earlier that I wasn't sure, but I can confirm it is. There's one of the many boats down there that they have summer tours of the area. The river, the rock formations below us. What a beautiful sight this time of the night. It is pretty. I've never been here this late, where the sunset starts to set over the valley. But either way you go, you can't go wrong here. This is another example of why the Scenic Byway has proven just to be really scenic, but pretty incredible. Long ago, the river carved a path that has been moving people for generations. Interstate State Park. Say them both. Another look. Water much more still and calm under the bridge that we just walked across. That's pretty cool. Now walking through. Ooh. Water tornadoes touch down here. Interesting. Never would have known that. Another look there through the bridge we walked through. And another glacial pothole. A pothole within a pothole. Still very much frozen in time. Spring, as you can see in some of our previous videos, is not all here yet. Much more calm, a much more calm version of the river this way. We've seen many sides to the St. Croix River in this short little series we've done so far. Many angles, views, perspectives, however you want to frame it. There's another pothole. They're all over the place. Truly is an interesting place. Another angle, one of the many rocks. Stepping over what is still partially frozen to our viewers from warmer areas. It's definitely cool. Now you see stuff like this on the Wisconsin side, but they're not the potholes. They're not these divots into the ground. They're not these larger rock structures, because you can't necessarily see them from that side, and if you can, you're not up close to them. So it really is a different view, and for sure worth it to come over to the Minnesota side for sure. Huge pothole. Beautiful. An overlook we'll take a look at from up here. Heading up the final steps to this overlook, if you want to call them steps. Another view of the mighty river below us. Once in drinking water from unknown unknown origins. There's where the boats load up, where you can tour up to the falls down there. And friends, we are just elated at this experience today. We haven't seen it from this angle, and it's definitely something with sunset upon us. Been a great adventure on this section. The lone goose out there, that used to be me. I used to be the Brandon out there before I found my Ash. You know, taking the West Virginia trip and South Carolina and taking all these trips on my own. It's definitely different. He's a loner. I understand. I can sympathize with you, buddy. An unsolved mystery. A huge glacial river carved this valley and then shrank, leaving behind a landscape of mysteries. Like, what the heck are all these potholes? Great question. I don't know. But there's the river boats. I'd love to take a river cruise on this St. Croix up this far. Not so much, maybe down by Hudson and the area that we reside, but, you know, more so up here in the more scenic area where you can cruise along and look at the rock structures. I mean, they have, like, I think we've seen rapids up there, other rock climbing opportunities. Is that my loner friend again right there?
No.
Scooting along. Winston wants to get up on the wall.
Dude, no.
It's a different perspective.
Well, I'll be like the moose and wait for you.
Hey, Winnie. There she is.
In all her glory.
The queen. Taylor's Falls queen. There's the Whitcomb queen. The rock formation. Really would enjoy the opportunity. There you go. Only climbers with permits allowed in this area. Understandable. Look at it. Guess we're turning back as the sun sets over the valley. And on another beautiful day along the St. Croix Scenic Byway. And for dinner in Taylor's Falls, we chose the drive-in restaurant, which is a pretty popular spot. Pretty classic.
It's from the 1950s.
Yeah. There we are. We'll show you the product. In typical Brandon fashion, had to go with the vanilla malt. Ash went with the lemonade. And the grand finale. We got to-go boxes because it closes at 8 and we're here at 8, right at sunset. I got the bacon cheeseburger and fries. Ash, chicken strips, french fries, and she even got a cookie.
It's a kid's meal.
She wasn't hungry tonight. So. We appreciate all of your support today. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. We appreciate all of you immensely. Winston is happy because he's eating a fry. Thank you all for the support. We can't wait to share the next adventure with you. And for Ash, for Winston, for the boys, we'll see you next time.